Hello class, today we're going to be discussing attention and problem solving, intelligence and wisdom, and neurocognitive disorders. Alterations in sensory functioning and speed processing of information in late adulthood frequently translates into changes in attention. In addition, research has demonstrated that older adults are less capable of selectively focusing on information while simultaneously ignoring distractions. Consequently, cognitive declines related to reaction time or attentional processes may generate limitations under certain circumstances when driving. Research has shown that divided attention impairments are significantly associated with increased automobile accidents in older adults. Concerning interpersonal problem solving, research suggested that older adults engage in more effective methods than younger adults when navigating through social and emotional problems. In addition, research also noticed that older adults hardly perform poorer on the job, whereas they may develop more resourceful methods and rely on expertise to compensate for cognitive decline.
Attention and problem solving. With the process of aging, older adults experiencing declines in attention and problem solving skills can be understood through the processing speed theory and the inhibition theory. Salthouse proposed that with the nervous system slowing causes at the same time our ability to process information to deplete, specifically in the activities that require speed or fast memory. However, Hausher and Sachs argue that older adults experience difficulties with inhibitory control, which makes it harder to filter out irrelevant information. Despite the cognitive changes, real-world functioning often remains strong. Older adults tend to rely on their life experiences, motivation, and adaptive routines strategies. For instance, they often turn to trusted sources like family or friends and continue to perform well when there are no time constraints for a task. Research also shows that the performance improves when tasks are more personal or emotionally meaningful.
Intelligence has been assessed for change throughout many tests compared to younger adult groups, with the main changes being in the things that we've talked about through this presentation, such as attention and memory. Whereas the theories of intelligence have developed a little bit from our initial theories of fluid intelligence, which is the ability to think logically, problem solve, and adapt, and crystal intelligence, which is the ability to use skills through learning and experience. These have evolved further via Paul Baltz, who introduced pragmatic intelligence and mechanic intelligence. Pragmatic intelligence is due to exposure to culture and procedures throughout life, and this intelligence tends to stay in the memory throughout aging and does not deteriorate as easily. And this is often influenced by crystal intelligence. Mechanic intelligence depends on the brain functions, and the deterioration of those brain functions throughout age makes those intelligence aspects decline. This is built off of fluid intelligence. The other big thing that we talk about when it comes to intelligence within late adulthood is wisdom. Wisdom is defined as an expert level of knowledge and judgment in the fundamental pragmatics of life, including factual knowledge, procedural knowledge, knowledge of life's context, relativism, and uncertainty. This is directly quoted from the source used for this slide. Wisdom is said to come directly from Erikson's 8th stage, which is integrity versus despair. Whether one can look back on their lifespan and see it as impactful and positive, which would be choosing integrity, or whether one looks back and feels disappointed or regretful in their choices and their life paths, which would be despair. Erikson points out the significance of finding integrity in the life that late adults have lived up to this point, and finds integrity as the key to having wisdom that can be passed down to different generations in the younger adult.
Neurocognitive disorders are serious conditions that involve progressive declines in memory, judgment, language, and other important cognitive abilities. These changes aren't just a normal part of aging, they go far beyond the occasional forgetfulness we might expect. The broad category we often hear about is dementia, which refers to a significant memory loss and cognitive decline that interferes with daily life. The most common neurocognitive disorder is Alzheimer's disease, which accounts for about 75% of all dementia cases. People with Alzheimer's may first show signs like memory loss, confusion, or trouble speaking. Over time, symptoms can worsen and include personality changes, loss of physical ability, and eventually total dependence on others. In addition to Alzheimer's, there are several other major neurocognitive disorders. Vascular dementia is caused by strokes or blocked blood flow in the brain. Lewy body dementia often involves hallucinations, sleep problems, and movement issues. Parkinson's disease can lead to cognitive decline along with its well-known motor symptoms. Several risk factors increase the chances of developing these disorders. Some like age, genetics, or family history can't be controlled, but others like high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, head injuries, and living in a sedentary lifestyle can be managed. So how can we help prevent or delay these conditions? Research suggests that regular physical activity, healthy sleep, stress management, staying socially connected, and keeping the brain active through things like puzzles, reading, or games can all support long-term brain health. Even though these disorders can be challenging, making healthy choices early on and staying mentally and socially engaged can make a real difference in aging well. Now that we've gone over the different types of neurocognitive disorders, their symptoms, risk factors, and ways to protect brain health, we'd like to quiz you on your knowledge with a quick Kahoot quiz. It's short, fun, great way to review key points we just covered. You can join it using your phone or laptop, or just head to the Kahoot link that we have below on the Canvas page. Everything we share today is backed by research from both course materials and credible outside sources that'll be on screen that focus on cognitive aging and dementia. Thanks again for being a great audience and taking the time to learn about this important topic. We hope the presentation helped you better understand how these disorders affect people in adulthood and remind you that there are real steps that we all can take to protect our brains as we age.